Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chiefs Out West. I am your host, Butch Davis. Kia was not able to join us today for our Week 14 pick'em, so I'll be taking things going through Week 14 slate. That does bring a little bit of excitement. Allow me to start off with the recap of the Thursday nighters. Sometimes Kia and I don't get a chance to really go through the Thursday night games and predict those out. So we didn't really predict this game. I would not have had the Bears winning if I had. Because the Cowboys, you got to think that with all that talent, that something has to give. Like a team that's just that talented shouldn't be losing games, and yet here the Cowboys are, with a losing record at this point in the season. The head coach getting called out consistently for losing. Him knowing that if he doesn't perform well in the playoffs, which they still have a chance to make, by the way, him knowing that they don't perform well in the playoffs, he's going to be out of a job in Dallas. And I just think all that pressure is really starting to get to this team. Like all these expectations and talks about Super Bowl, I think you could see it on their faces. Some of these guys look exhausted. It's the same stuff that's happening to them over and over again when they get into these losses. Offense gets bogged down. The defense is unable to make a stop. They're getting yards and points put on them in a hurry now at this point in the season, and it's just here we go again with them. So it's unfortunate, but you got to give the Bears a lot of credit. Money Mitch. What Mitchell Trubisky reached down into the well in that game and pulled out a good performance. And what I liked most about what I saw from their offense in that game, rhythm. Okay, finally, they're installing in their offense those quick throws out to the flat to playmakers with space like Cordero Patterson. Getting guys like David Montgomery going. Mitchell Trubisky is moving the chains with his legs. He's not even wasting time. He's seeing man coverage on a couple of those third downs. He's taking off. He's getting up the middle for 10. He's getting to the sideline for 5 and moving the chains. That really helped build the confidence of that offense. And, again, back to Dallas, they just weren't able to do the same thing. Dak isn't using his legs in the same way as Mitchell Trubisky was in that game. Why wasn't he doing some of that stuff? They had a third down in the second quarter. It would have been a tight window throw and a great completion from Dak Prescott to Randall Cobb to move the chains on third down. I think it was a 3rd and 5 when the Cowboys started to let the game go a little bit. Had they completed that, would have kept the chains moving, would have had a chance to probably put more points on the board. Instead, incomplete pass, they go to attempt a field goal, it's missed. So little things like that, the details of the game is why I don't think Jason Garrett's going to get another head coaching job in this league. He just isn't. He doesn't bring a schematic advantage to any game that he coaches in. You could tell his team doesn't prepare for the details of the game, and they're still trying the same stuff that's leading them to lose on a week-to-week basis. But let's get enough of that, man. I'm proud of the Bears. I want our old KC guys. I want to see them go out there and have success. We have a lot of old KC guys out there doing their job. So kudos to all of them. All right, on to the actual Week 14 pick'em. We're going to start off the game. Let's start off the first matchup, Carolina Panthers going to the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, the Atlanta Falcons, yeah, they're at that point where they're ready to roll over. They want the season to just be done, and I can't blame them. The Carolina Panthers just went through a coaching change. Perry Fuel. There's two things that happen when you go through these coaching changes. Either there's a new voice and a new system, a new way of doing things, and the team's going to get really energized and they're really going to catch the opponent off guard, in my opinion, or they're just going to go out there with a totally terrible game plan and get smoked on the road. I think Perry Fuel is going to be able to put some defensive intensity to this team. I think they're going to continue to pound the rock. I think they're going to use more than just Christian McCaffrey to be able to pound the rock. I think they have a solid game plan against the Atlanta Falcons, the teams that they see fairly often because they're in division. So I have Carolina winning that one 28-17. Go ahead and get you one, Perry Fuel. I think that'll be his first win as a head coach in this league, so that'd be cool. Next game, the Indianapolis Colts travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. Okay, so the Colts are really in trouble right now. Like their season is slipping away with these losses. I don't think they've gotten rid of Adam Vinatieri. The special teams, the kicking game is still miserable. They're still losing games in odd ways, in unfortunate ways, because Jacoby Brissett can't seem to get the ball out on time and to his receivers with some velocity. So that's a problem for them. Their offense just isn't doing the things that it was doing at the beginning of the year. And even bad defenses like Tampa Bay's are going to find ways to be able to stop them. I'm checking the injury report right now. Looks like for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to be missing Anthony Nelson. I like Anthony Nelson. They're going to be missing potentially Jamel Dean and Marvin Stewart and MJ Stewart. So that's not good. They're already terrible in the secondary. The Colts can get some on them, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Tampa ends up lighting them up out in Florida, the strip club capital of the world. Don't tell me, don't ask me how I know that. Tampa wins 31-23. All right, next game on the schedule. Miami Dolphins travel to the New York Jets. This is another one of those in-division games that they're usually hard fought. These are usually when both teams really bring out a lot. They know what this game means. Even though both their seasons seem lost right now, they know what this game means for both of them, and they seem to bring out the best in each other whenever they play. With that said, I hate to keep doing this because the Jets, every time I pick them, they just find a new way to look terrible, inconsistent. It's as if they take one step forward and two step back on a week-to-week basis. But same can be said for the Miami Dolphins. They had an amazing game last week. They're probably going to follow that up with a terrible game this week, and that's what I'm banking on. I have the New York Jets winning 20-19. Sam Darnold wakes up a little bit. Adam Gase gets the flow of the offense going, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick does Ryan Fitzpatrick things and turns the ball over about 4 times. I hope not, because I'm in my fantasy quarterfinals match, and I need him to play well, but that's what I think is going to happen. All right, next slot. The San Francisco 49ers travel to the New Orleans Saints. This is going to be, when I wake up in the morning, this will be the first game I watch. 49ers at Saints is going to be a slugfest. You thought 49ers-Ravens was going to be nice, but 49ers-Saints could probably be even better as far as the quality of offense that we're going to see. The Niners can run on anyone. And the Saints can really stop the run. Their defensive line is fantastic, so I'm going to be very intrigued to see what they do, what the Niners do to get their run game going. They're going to need that to pace their offense to keep them on the field. They're also going to need, in my opinion, they're going to need either a steady diet of Raheem Mostert or Matt Breida. Matt Breida looks like right now for the San Francisco 49ers is going to play. Okay, he's good. He was a full participant in practice last time I checked. So they're going to have another weapon there to carry the ball. I would expect him to get into the end zone at least once in this game. And when he does, the New Orleans Saints probably aren't going to have much of an answer. They have a number of guys who are going to be out in this one. Kiko Alonso is going to be out. Zach Line, the fullback's going to be out. Andrus Peat, Teron Armstead may not play in this game. They're a little banged up. I have San Francisco winning 24-22. It's going to be a tight one, but definitely watch this game. It's going to be probably the best game of the week outside of Chiefs Patriots. Next game, the Detroit Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings. Another great in-division game. I don't know. The Lions, what does Matt Patricia want them to be? Like, Darrell Bevell's done a good job with this team and setting up this offense. That's how they've been able to survive the loss of Matthew Stafford thus far. But defensively, I just don't get it. They don't get pressure on the quarterback. They don't particularly stop the run well. They have big guys, but it seems like the guys like Matt Patricia, when they come from that New England setting, those guys, they really want control. They want Bill Belichick control. They may not think they're Bill. They may not want to be Bill, but they want Bill Belichick's control. And I think Matt Patricia has a little bit of that. Clearly has some say-so over the roster because he's the head coach. It's just not coming together correctly. Some of the calls that they are making personnel-wise, leadership-wise, aren't working out for the Detroit Lions. And I just really don't see them being able to go on the road and beat a good team, a playoff caliber team like the Minnesota Vikings. Now, because it's an in-division game, this could end up being a shocker. This could end up being an upset. The Lions could go out there and really put their offense together. This Blow kid, David Blow, he ain't scared. He's out there actually playing well. So I'll put that out there in the universe. But I'm just going to say Minnesota's going to win 38-30, but hold the phone on that one because the Minnesota Vikings very well find a way to urinate down their right leg and lose this game. Next game. Denver Broncos travel to the Houston Texans. The Broncos have found new life now with Drew Lock. He wasn't fantastic, but he certainly wasn't bad. You see the way they lit up the defense of the Los Angeles Chargers deep down the field. JT O'Sullivan at the QB school, go watch his videos. Go watch the video he did for Drew Lock. His feet were calm in the pocket. His drops, when he got to the top of that drop, had a firm base, let it go, the type of stuff that we saw at the University of Missouri for all you Tigers fans. When he was starting there for 4 years, he was fantastic, about as good of a grade as you could give a rookie quarterback. I don't think that that's going to happen in Houston. I actually have them losing this game. I have Houston win this one 27-20, but I'm excited about where I see their offense going. I think one of the best parts about what I saw from Denver was that they changed their offense. Okay, I thought they were going to go out there and try to do, okay, let me bootleg, stretch right, stretch left, 4-step drop, 5-step drop from under center. No, they really changed. Rich Gangarello really changed his offense to make Drew Lock comfortable, and it showed. But it's not going to matter against a team full of all pros like the Houston Texans. Okay, next game. The Baltimore Ravens go to the Buffalo Bills. Okay, so San Francisco, New Orleans is going to be game number 1 I watch. Game number 2 is going to be this one when the Ravens travel to the Bills. This is going to be tough, man. This is going to be real tough. This is a coin flip. If you're a better, stay away from this one, and probably take the under, because both of these defenses can really play on their edges. The Buffalo Bills are so good to getting to the edge. They're so fast. Their corners, Tre'Davious White, he comes up and runs support and plays well. They're going to really need Trey White to do his thing, not only in the pass defense game, but in the run defense game, and come up and make a couple tackles. He's the type of guy that's athletic enough to meet Lamar Jackson at the edge and bring him down. But ultimately, these both offensive lines, both defensive lines, these guys, they play so well up front. And just watch what both offensive coordinators do, Brian Daboll and Greg Roman, the way they get their quarterback on the move, the way they have their offensive line moving left to right to get their playmakers going horizontally. Ultimately, I have Buffalo winning this one 19-17. I think they're able to do enough to control the edge run of Baltimore. Baltimore falls to 10-3. All right, next game. Cincinnati travels to the Cleveland Browns. Both of these teams are miserable. I hate talking about them sometimes because, I look at the Cleveland Browns and I say to myself, it's just a matter of time for someone gets hurt, unfortunately. It's not what I want, but someone gets hurt in a meaningless game like this, in an almost meaningless season like this, and, they're lost for the first part of next season or, something like that. And that's why I don't like these games, big-time players playing these games. But that's what the NFL is all about. These guys like playing in it. And they're going to play, all the starters are going to play in this one, and they're going to give it their best go. Cleveland has to win. They have to win 21-15. It's the score that I have. If they want any chance of even thinking about going into next season without some coaching staff changes, I'm not talking about them losing Freddie Kitchens, but something has to change here if they end up losing this game at home to a terrible team like Cincy. Let me take a look at the injury report as well. Since he's going to be missing, of course, A.J. Green, Drew Sample, Sam Hubbard. Oh, boy. Yeah. And it's tough. Hopefully Olivier Vernon can play. Yeah. Cleveland needs to win this one. They can't lose, period. Next game, Washington Redskins go to the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are going to win. And allow me to say this, that the Redskins, they can end up coming out against this Mike Pettin defense, employing the type of game plan that they employed last week against Carolina, and they could really give Green Bay fits. There are still questions about the middle of that Green Bay defense that are very real, very legitimate. They're guys like Kenny Clark, Blake Martinez, they don't have the strength to hold up at the line of scrimmage. They don't get off of blocks enough to be able to stop the run game. And this is going to be, if Redskins want to commit themselves to the run game like they did last week and put pressure on Green Bay, they can do that. This game might come down to the wire. I say that Green Bay is going to throw themselves out of Washington's run. They're going to put enough points on them early to where Washington's going to have to put the game in Dwayne Haskins' hands. That's going to be miserable because they are as one-dimensional of a football team as I've ever seen. Green Bay is going to win 40-19. 40-19. Trust me. Okay, next game. The Los Angeles Chargers travel to the Jacksonville Jaguars, an afternoon slate. All right, I won't be watching much of this one because the Chiefs will be playing around this time. But Chargers at Jags. The Jags are going to start. Probably know. I live in Seattle. I've gone to Pullman and watch Gardner Minshew play ball at Washington State. I like him. I like his game. His tape has always been very fun to watch. He's always had accuracy. He's always been able to create and make plays. That's exactly what Jacksonville needs, and they're going to give the Los Angeles Chargers some trouble with his ability to run around and make plays and to find his receivers. His receivers are still very good. Keenum and Cardell has done a great job with that receiver group out there in Jacksonville, and they're going to keep this one close. Ultimately, I have the Chargers winning 24-20. The Chargers can't keep losing heartbreakers forever. It'll be another close one, but their defense will be able to make stops on these guys. Their offensive line right now for Jacksonville is just so subpar. They're not going to be able to handle the pass rush. They're not particularly running the ball well, and I think the Chargers' defense is their strong suit. The offense tries its best to throw these games away. They won't be able to throw this one away, though. They're going to Jacksonville and win 24-20. Don't make me regret this, Anthony Lynn, please. Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers travel to the Arizona Cardinals, a rematch of the Super Bowl. I think that was in 2009. All right. So too bad neither one of those quarterbacks is playing in this one. The Steelers won't need Ben Roethlisberger to play, obviously, to be able to beat the Cardinals in Arizona. This is one where when the Cardinals lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-18, that's my prediction. You gotta start looking at Vance Joseph and say, how can we upgrade? Again, I hate keep calling for people's jobs, but it's just week in and week out that Arizona Cardinals defense just ends up going mincemeat. It's turned into absolute mincemeat. How they lost that game to the Rams and the way they did, just how pitifully they lost that game was unfortunate. I know there were some turnovers from Kyler, but whatever, man. You got to be able to stop the run. You can't allow offense to just do whatever the heck they feel like to you. That's what happened to Arizona last week, and I don't want to think that Vance Joseph is going to stick around there for the sake of everyone's jobs here in the next few years, including Steve Kimes. So Pittsburgh wins 21-18. Speaking of very good coaches, I mean, for all of you Mike Tomlin detractors out there, just stop. Go have a Coke and a smile somewhere. All right, next game, Tennessee Titans at the Oakland Raiders. The Tennessee Titans are going to beat the Oakland Raiders. It's going to be a tight game, 30-28. These teams want to play this game on the ground. Both teams want to be physical at the line of scrimmage. They want to be able to stop the other team from establishing the run in between the tackles. I don't think either one of them is going to be able to do so particularly well. But this should be almost like looking in the mirror for Oakland. Only Tennessee is better at doing this version of the game. Oakland might be without Josh Jacobs in this one. It'll matter because he's their most explosive playmaker, but Oakland's their strength is their offensive line. So they'll be able to put different backs in there, DeAndre Washington and what have you, and still be able to produce a significant number of yards on this defense. I have no doubt about that. But ultimately, I just say, even at home, I think this is too much for them. Tennessee is frightening right now, how well they are playing, how well they're playing on defense, how they complement defense with offense. Mike Vrabel has his guys believing they just need to take that with them on the plane. It has to come with them to Oakland. They can't leave that ability on the plane back in Tennessee, back in Nashville, and take an L to a very porous Oakland Raiders defense. That would be, they actually have a good defensive line, so they'll be able to offer some resistance, just not enough, especially in the second half. I think this game goes nuts in the second half and Tennessee wins. All right, next game, the Seattle Seahawks travel to the Los Angeles Rams. Another in-division matchup. This is going to be a fantastic game. I'm glad this is a night game. I love that they put these types of games as night games because there's so much at stake in this division. Los Angeles still holding on for hope that they can get a wild card spot, and they very well could. They keep winning. But they're going to have to do so against a Seahawks team that just knows who they are. They know their identity. They pound the rock. My guy Rashad Penny finding life. My guy Chris Carson finding life. Hopefully Mike Upati will be able to go in this one. Let's check the injury report real quick. It looks like he will. Seattle Seahawks. Mike Upati is fine. Big question marks with Jadeveon Clowney and Ezekiel Ansah. Both of them are questionable right now with injuries. Neither, if Jadeveon Clowney can go, I would say the Seahawks outright. If he can't go, this will get real interesting because the Rams found life in that game against Arizona last week. I know it's just the Cardinals, but their play calling was fantastic. The way they were getting on the edge, getting Cooper Kupp involved. They can duplicate that against the Seahawks. They'll beat them, but I don't think they will. I think JD plays. They know how important this game is. Seahawks win 29-27 in a very close, very tightly contested game, night game on Sunday. And then we have the Monday nighter. That'll be the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. I have the Giants winning this one 35-30. Hear me out on this. So Eli comes back. Eagles secondary is trash. It is officially mincemeat. It's officially red button time. They're ready to panic. To give them fits and to force the Philadelphia Eagles to have to play from behind a couple of times. And I think that's the one thing that Philly doesn't want. They don't want to be in a position where they feel pressured to have to score because that's when they screw up. That's when they drop passes. That's when Carson Wentz inevitably will fumble the ball. And the Giants, their defense sucks. Like, they're going to give up a couple plays as well. But I think Eli comes back. This is my upset of the week. And on Monday night, they find a way to go into Philly. They get Eli a win, and they really light up the scoreboard on Philly, and Philly's left to think about the futures of their defensive coordinator and their defensive personnel. I really think that's the beginning of the end. I think it's Jim Schwartz out there as DC. So, Giants, don't make me look stupid. Win that game. All right. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. That was another episode of Chiefs Out West for our Week 14 Pick'em. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Kia should be joining us again after the Chiefs beat up on the New England Patriots to get that win. We'll do a recap. So thank you again. Take care.